Everything you think you know about biker clubs might be wrong. Most people only see the loud engines, the leather cuts, and the riders moving in perfect formation. But here's the problem. That surface view barely scratches the real world these clubs operate in. Behind those patches lies a hidden system built on strict rules and power structures that outsiders never hear about. Which leads to the real mystery. What's happening inside biker clubs that most people don't know? Let's get into it. 1. The origin of the 1%er myth. Most people today think the 1%er label was born out of biker crime statistics. But the truth is stranger and a little ironic. In 1947, thousands of riders flooded the small town of Hollister, California, turning a local rally into a chaotic 3-day explosion of alcohol, street racing, and fights. Newspapers sensationalized the event so heavily that the American Motorcyclist Association, AMA, had to state to calm the public. According to legend, they claimed 99% of motorcyclists are law-abiding citizens. That left the other 1% the ones who didn't follow the rules. Outlaw clubs embraced the label instantly. They flipped it into a badge of honor, a mark of separation from the civilian world. Soon, the diamond-shaped 1% patch appeared on vests across America, silently declaring, "We don't follow your laws, we follow ours." But even with all that meaning behind the patch, most people misunderstand what it actually represents. 2. Not all 1T. 1%ers are criminals. Most documentaries paint outlaw clubs with one brush, as if membership itself is an automatic sign of criminal intent. The truth is far more complicated. Being a 1%er does not mean someone is breaking the law. These clubs are large, layered, and filled with people whose lives look surprisingly ordinary. Many members run family businesses. Others work regular jobs, coach little league, raise children, or spend their weekends fixing cars and cutting grass. On Monday mornings, they go back to work and pay taxes like everyone else. Their connection to the club is cultural, not criminal. When illegal activity does appear, it is almost always the work of specific individuals or small pockets within the organization. This is why major RICO indictments rarely target an entire club. They target the few members who crossed legal lines, not the hundreds or thousands who did not. This duality, the contrast between the feared outlaw and the neighbor who waves from his driveway, is what makes biker culture so misunderstood. Outsiders see danger. Insiders see loyalty, routine, and a community that feels like home. And somewhere between these two images lies the real story of the 1%er world. Still, for all their diversity, there's one rule in outlaw culture that stays the same everywhere you go. 3. This world is only for men. Outlaw motorcycle clubs argue about many things, but there is one rule that almost never changes. Full patch membership is for men only. It is one of the oldest traditions in the 1% world, and it shapes the identity of every major club. Women can be around the club. They can be associates, girlfriends, spouses, or supporters. They can attend events, help with charity rides, and be part of the social world that surrounds the patch. But when it comes to the core of the organization, the part where decisions are made and loyalty is tested, the door stays closed. In outlaw culture, the patch is sacred. It represents loyalty, sacrifice, brotherhood, and the willingness to defend the club at any cost. Tradition says that responsibility belongs to men, and the clubs have held on to that belief for generations. Whether outsiders agree with it or not, this rule remains one of the defining lines between casual motorcycle groups and the deeply rooted world of 1%er clubs. And there's another divide, this one tied to the AMA. 4. 1%ers don't follow AMA rules. Outlaw motorcycle clubs don't reject American Motorcycle Association, AMA, rules out of rebellion. They reject them because they have something far stricter. Their bylaws function like the laws of a small nation, enforced with penalties that outsiders rarely hear about. Nothing inside these clubs is casual, especially their rules. For example, Touching another man's patch is unthinkable. That piece of cloth carries rank, history, and in some cases blood. Even police know better than to grab it unless they have to. Interrupting a club meeting, known as church, is just as forbidden. Once the doors close, the world outside disappears. Phones are off. Voices drop. Every member listens. It is not a meeting. It is a ritual. Even the condition of your bike carries weight. A motorcycle is not just a machine. It is a reflection of the rider. If your bike breaks down, members start wondering whether you can be relied on. A poorly maintained engine can jeopardize an entire formation, and no outlaw club tolerates weak links. And then there is the word brother. In some clubs, you do not earn that title until you have proven loyalty in ways outsiders would never understand. Some earn it through sacrifice, others through difficult moments that test their commitment. A few clubs use the word more freely, but its weight never changes. Inside the world of 1%ers, every rule carries meaning. Every rule protects the culture, and every rule separates them from the world that tries to define them. But there's another side to these clubs. 5. Charity behind the leather. It feels contradictory at first, almost impossible to believe, but many outlaw motorcycle clubs spend just as much time helping people as they do defending their reputation. Behind the leather cuts and intimidating patches, these groups frequently raise money for children's hospitals, cancer foundations, veteran support programs, local emergency funds, and the families of fallen riders. Some rallies bring in thousands of dollars in a single day. To outsiders, this can look like strategic public relations, a way to soften a rough image. But inside the club, it is viewed very differently. Charity is a tradition. It is a responsibility passed from one generation of riders to the next, a way to show strength without violence, and to prove that loyalty extends beyond the clubhouse walls. The dual identity is always there. A club that law enforcement watches closely might also be the same club delivering gifts to struggling families every Christmas. This contrast, the balance between fear and compassion, is one of the most quietly fascinating parts of the 1% world. But everything in this world still comes back to the bikes. 6. The bikes, a culture built on American steel. People often imagine that every outlaw rider chooses a Harley simply because it is loud, rebellious, and intimidating. That is the surface-level view. The real reason is rooted in culture, identity, and history. 1%er clubs have traditionally stayed loyal to Harley-Davidson, Indian motorcycle, and Victory motorcycles. These were the machines that defined post-What to America. When veterans returned from war, many bought surplus military Harleys and modified them in garages and backyards. Those bikes were heavy, rugged, and unmistakably American, and the riders who chose them helped shape the earliest outlaw culture. Over time, riding American steel became more than a preference. It became a declaration of loyalty to the lifestyle itself. The bike you rode said something about who you were, where you came from, and how seriously you took the patch on your back. Some modern clubs have loosened the rules and allow more variety in brands and models. But in most 1%er circles, the unwritten rule still stands. If the bike is not American, it does not belong. The machine matters, but the symbolism matters even more. After the bikes, the real structure of the club starts to show. 7. A rigid hierarchy holds everything together. Outlaw motorcycle clubs may look wild and unpredictable from the outside, but inside they operate with the precision of a military unit. Every member has a defined place, and every role carries real weight. When you lay out the structure clearly, the hierarchy looks like this. At the very top is the president, the figure who guides the chapter and settles disputes. Just beneath him stands the vice president, the second in command and the one who steps in whenever leadership needs reinforcement. To the side is the sergeant-at-arms, the enforcer who maintains discipline and ensures the bylaws are followed without exception. The road captain holds authority over every ride and every mile the club travels, organizing routes and leading formations with absolute control. Supporting the entire organization are the secretary and treasurer, managing records, finances, and club assets with the kind of precision you would expect from a tightly run institution rather than a hobby. Nothing inside these clubs is democratic. The chain of command is absolute. When a senior member gives an order, younger members follow. No hesitation, no debate. The system works because everyone understands their role and respects the one above them. This structure, strict and unwavering, is what has allowed clubs like the Hells Angels and the Bandidos to grow beyond local groups and become international forces. The hierarchy is not just tradition. It is the backbone that holds everything together. From structure, the next layer of culture appears in the words they stand behind. 8. Slogans. Every club has a war cry. Every major motorcycle club has a phrase that defines its identity. Some slogans come across as warnings, while others sound like declarations of pride, but each one carries a meaning understood only by those inside the brotherhood. The Hells Angels have one of the most famous, "Angels forever, forever angels." It is a reminder that joining the club is difficult, but leaving it is even harder. The patch stays with you in ways that go far beyond leather and thread. The Bandidos carry a different kind of message. We are the people our parents warned us about. It challenges society directly, almost taunting the idea of normal life and embracing the label of the outsider. These phrases appear on rings, vests, belts, banners, and sometimes even carved into gravestones. They act as war cries, identities, and promises all at once. When a member sees his club's slogan, he is reminded of exactly who he is and exactly what he stands for. So how does someone even join a world built on this level of identity and loyalty? 9. You do not apply to a 1%er club. In the outlaw world, joining a 1%er club is nothing like joining a gym or signing up for a website. You cannot send an application, and you cannot email your way in. Doing either is the quickest way to prove you do not understand the culture at all. Most outlaw clubs make this clear on their websites, often in bold, aggressive language that leaves no room for misunderstanding. Do not write us asking how to join. Find a member and ask him. It is not advice. It is a test. If you do not already know someone inside the club, then from their perspective, you are not ready. Outlaw organizations run on trust, loyalty, and personal reputation. If no one inside the club can vouch for you, then you are invisible. You might not exist. The Hells Angels put it in their public FAQ with almost uncomfortable honesty. If you are still asking where the nearest chapter is, you are definitely not ready to be a Hells Angel. A real prospect would already know. Getting in is difficult, but who actually joins is the real twist. 10. The average age of a club member isn't what you think Hollywood loves to show biker clubs as packs of reckless young men tearing down highways on loud Harleys. The real outlaw world is nothing like that. The average motorcycle club member is about 48 years old, a man who has been riding for more than 20 years. By the time he steps into a clubhouse, he has already lived a full life. He has worked careers, built families, served in the military, and spent decades on the road. These are not impulsive kids searching for trouble. They are seasoned riders with discipline and patience, men who understand the weight of responsibility that comes with wearing a patch. In many outlaw clubs, age is not just a number. Age means experience, and experience means trust. Some clubs want veterans of the road, people who have proven over many years that they can be relied on when it matters. But not every club follows the same standards. The biker world is far broader than most people imagine. Groups like the Iron Order MC open their doors much earlier. If you are 18, ride a cruiser with at least 650 cubic centimeters of power and live within the law, you are eligible. They do not require decades of riding or long histories of commitment. Other clubs are even more inclusive. The Patriot Guard riders, for example, do not require you to own a bike at all. They will accept you if you are 18 and willing to show respect during military funerals and honor escorts. For them, the mission matters more than the machine. All of this shows how diverse motorcycle culture truly is. Some clubs expect a lifetime of proof before they let you in. Others welcome anyone willing to stand up, show respect, or ride for a cause. In the end, the patch might look similar, but the path to earning it can be entirely different depending on where you choose to stand. 11. What happens if you lose your bike? In the outside world, a motorcycle is just a machine made of metal, rubber, and gasoline. Inside a motorcycle club, it becomes something different. It is a symbol, a badge, almost the heartbeat of the lifestyle. So people often wonder what happens if a member loses that bike. Nothing really changes where it matters. Once you join the MC family, your identity is not tied to the motorcycle beneath you. It is tied to the brotherhood standing beside you. If your bike is stolen, which is rare since even thieves know better than to target an MC member, or if it gets destroyed in a crash, your position in the club does not disappear with it. You remain a full-patch brother. You keep your voting rights. You still attend church meetings, participate in decisions, and take part in club activities. The only thing you cannot do is ride in the formation until you replace your machine. In this world, the patch on your back matters more than the engine between your legs. The man comes first, and the motorcycle comes second. A bike can be rebuilt or replaced. A brother cannot. A missing motorcycle won't cost you your place. Wanting out might. 12. There's no easy way out. This is the part outsiders seldom understand. Joining a 1% club is not like signing up for a gym or trying out for a sports team. There is no unsubscribe button, no simple goodbye, no clean exit. It works much closer to a lifetime oath. When you first enter as a hang-around, you still have freedom. You watch them. They watch you. If you walk away during this stage, it barely registers. You were never fully in the world to begin with. As a prospect, things change. You start investing time, effort, and trust. You put in the work, run the errands, follow the rules, and sometimes bleed for the club. You can still leave if you must, but it is no longer simple. Once you earn the full patch, leaving becomes something entirely different. Not impossible, but almost unthinkable. At that point, the patch is not just cloth. It is your identity, your reputation, your history, and your loyalty. The club expects that loyalty to last for life. If you insist on leaving, you give up everything. Your patch, your colors, any club property in your possession. In some clubs, you even lose the right to wear certain tattoos that link you to the organization. Only long-time respected members can hope for a graceful retirement. These are men who have spent decades in the club and stood by their brothers through funerals, wars, and countless rides. They may be allowed to step back with respect and even keep certain patches as a mark of honor. For everyone else, leaving is not a choice you simply announce. It is a negotiation, and it is not one you want to handle carelessly. But to understand how seriously the club takes discipline, you only need to look at the one, and riding together shows exactly how strict the structure really is. 14. The road captain, the one. Time the president on any ride. Whether it is a funeral procession, a charity event, or a whole club convoy, one man becomes the absolute authority. That man is the road captain. His responsibility is far greater than simply leading the line. He plans the route, studies every turn, knows every landmark, and understands exactly where the nearest repair shops and safe stops are. His job is to guide the pack with precision and to keep every rider alive. During a ride, the captain outranks everyone. Even the president stays silent and follows his lead. If the captain signals a stop, the entire pack stops. If he adjusts the route, the formation shifts without hesitation. If he gives an instruction, it is obeyed immediately. This change in hierarchy is not symbolic. It is survival. The road is unpredictable and sometimes dangerous, and a single mistake by a rider can bring down the entire formation. The road captain exists to prevent that chain reaction. He is not just leading a ride. He is guarding the club, mile by mile, with every decision he makes. 15. The ratio of male to female riders walk into any three-piece patch motorcycle club, and you notice it immediately. The room is almost entirely men. According to AMA statistics, 95% of riders are male, and within outlaw clubs, women almost never wear patches. They can spend time around the club, attend parties, and support events. But when it comes to official meetings, votes, or serious club business, the doors close. No women, ever. Some clubs have created women's auxiliaries. Others have independent women-only motorcycle organizations that operate with their own rules and traditions. But inside traditional patch-wearing MCs, membership remains strictly male. It is one of the most unchanging rules in outlaw culture, passed down from one generation to the next, and it continues to define who stands inside the voting circle and who stays outside of it. In the end, the outlaw world is not what most people think. It is strict, disciplined, loyal, and far more complex than the movies ever show. And once you understand the rules behind the patches, the entire culture looks very different. If you want to see how fast that world unravels when loyalty breaks, click on the next video. The story waiting there pulls you even deeper into the shadows.